Good evening, everybody. Are we like superheroes? Did anyone here enjoy reading superhero comics or superhero movies? Anybody? I know you do. It seems that there are more and more superhero movies coming out every year. But what do people like about superheroes? And I think one of the things people like is that the superheroes can do things that other people can't do. Superhero comics were in their golden age between 1938 and 1956. And I think that was because of World War II. People were quite patriotic, and people, just the man on the street, or the kids on the streets, they weren't able to do anything. And they saw, one of the famous comics that were from that age is the front cover of Captain America hitting Adolf Hitler. So, it's something that they do things that we can't do. But what the question is I'm asking today is, what can we learn from superheroes? Are we already like superheroes? Now, I'm not suggesting we make a comic book of Super Simon. I actually already am Simon. I'm there already. But I think we can learn from them, and I think we already do. As Toastmasters, we've already taken that first step to say, we're going to try and be more super than we were. So I'd like to go through a few aspects of superheroes and see how we have learned and can learn from them. So the first aspect, I'm going to be turning around there. Oh, there's a mirror here. Is the mask. Now, when they have a mask on, you'll notice the voice changes and it becomes very gravelly. So what's the point of the mask? So is the mask to hide who they were, to hide the person? Or as Batman says, I don't wear a mask to hide who I am, I wear a mask to create what I am. They wear a mask to become someone else, to become someone who can do things that the original person couldn't do. Now, I personally had this happen to me. I was always very shy, and I found that at one B'nai Akiva camp that I did, I suddenly put a mask on in a play, and I could just open up. In fact, that was two of the things. I hid myself, and I also became someone else. So part of what putting a mask on is for superheroes, and it can be for us as well, is that it's stepping out of our normal selves and becoming someone else. Putting on, it can be at the beginning, it can be putting on another persona. But you do it because you feel that something must be done. If you don't normally speak out, you come to a position where you become this brave person, and then that gives you the possibility to speak out. So the mask, becoming someone else, becoming someone who can do things that you couldn't do before. It could be pretending at the beginning, but then it can become part of you. And as Toastmasters, that's what we did. We stood up and became Toastmasters, and we are able to speak. Number two, the superpower. Now, I have a superpower. I can fly aeroplanes. Okay, that's not a very good superpower. But, superpowers. Now, what I want to say is that we don't have superpowers like climbing walls or flying or anything like that. But we all have strengths. We all have certain strengths. Our strengths might not be very strong at the beginning, but we all have strengths. And what we should try and do, obviously, is not only to find what our strength is. It's not enough just to have the strength. As Batman says, it's not who I am underneath, but what I do that defines me. You could have the strength, but if you don't use it, it's as if you haven't got it. Use your strength. It doesn't have to be something to improve the world, to make the world a better place. I like using humour. That's sort of a bit of a strength of mine, although not everyone would agree. And I use it because it's fun. I like making people happy. So find your strength and use it. Number 3, weaknesses. I have here an actual kryptonite rock. I'm not feeling it good. So Superman's weakness is kryptonite. And what do the superheroes do when they meet up with one of their weaknesses? Well, they could try and avoid it, or they could try and fix their weakness, or they could try and get help from somebody else. And, you know, in real life, that's what we can do as well. We, as well as having strengths, we have weaknesses as well. So we deal with our weaknesses. I get very nervous when I have a lot of pressure on, and I tend to go into a panic state. That's one of my weaknesses. and I've tried to deal with that. I went to like a mindfulness series, and you know, just breathing can help with that. Breathing, meditating. And so whatever weakness we have, again, it's finding the weakness and dealing with it, getting out, avoiding if you need to. Number 4 is failure recovery. There wouldn't be a story if at the beginning they got everything done, be finished there and there. So the superheroes, they don't always win at the beginning, and they usually don't win, and they end up, you know, losing, and then they have to improve, they train, they get better, and then they fight again, and then they win. And you know, it's not easy when you fail, right? I remember the first time I used to be quite good at exams, but then suddenly I failed one, and it was quite a blow. and it's difficult. It's hard. It's traumatic. But if we don't deal with our failure, then we just stay failures, right? So the idea is to fail it. And my prop is a spider. It's not Spider-Man, but it's a story of, well, it could be a story of an Incy-Wincy spider climbing up the spout, right? And down came the rain and washed poor Incy out. And then the sun came out and he climbed up again. Okay, so there's another story. Anyone heard of Robert the Bruce? Robert the Bruce was a Scottish fighter who was fighting probably against the English. And he lost the battle. He went into a cave and he saw a spider trying to climb up, and it fell down and climbed up. Anyway, so he said his story is try again. You know, if you fail, try again. So at the end of the day, are we like superheroes? We can be if we follow those aspects of superheroes. You know, choose to stand up for what you believe in. Find your strengths. Develop them. Deal with your weaknesses. And if you fail, try again. But on the other hand, superheroes, as we've seen, are just humans. They have human weaknesses. Right? So, are we like superheroes? No. Superheroes are like ordinary people. Be the best you can.